we couldn't do a bigger sample size. It was around 1,000. And 1,000 is a minuscule, as you know, that being a researcher, you understand that this 1,000 is, but it was like, and Sidbi actually appreciated it very much. And then they were asking that if we can do a bigger independent study. I told, okay, fine. And we started exploring the institution. Then we uh, we we figured out means we zeroed down on IGIDF, because IGIDF being offshoot of Reserve Bank of India has its own credibility. And when we are talking about independent study, we need a credible institution and a credible team to guide that one. So this is nothing to do with any type of this thing. In our last study, it was very candidly told that this microfinance sector is not going to reaching to ultra poor. That's truth also. These kind of things came up, but a lot of good things have come up also. So in this endeavor, we figured out couple of geographies, like in across. So this is a bigger study with this 5-6 thousand sample size, and we figured out couple of geographies with some parameters which Dr. Sarkar will tell you, and also like Dr. Sarkar is from IGIDS side and he is the lead of this study. So we figured out couple of geographies across country and also couple of geographies in UP where Dr. Sarkar wants to start, because this is near to Delhi and also it is accessible. And it's in Gorakhpur and one of the other geographies. So which is the other one? So Gorakhpur and so there are two geographies, and they wanted to first start their exploration in these two geographies. And we could figure out that Mitrata and other two institutions are working over there. So Dr. Sarkar wants a kind of certain data set. I am low, so I wanted, because that's not at our prerogative. What we can do, we can request you, but you have to take the decision. What kind of data support can you give him? So over to you, Dr. Sarkar.
Okay, thank you, Shoibar, for introducing us, and very, very good afternoon to you, Dr. Atif. I'm really happy that I am meeting you because, as Shoibar has said, the objective of the study is, very easy,
Oh,
and
Acha,
I think
sorry, I didn't introduce Akil. Akil is a very famous name in the circuit, and he has been so kind to Sadhan always. And he is
I
the
know,
CEO of
I
Mitrata.
have checked him out in LinkedIn, so I know he is a very, very famous. Nowadays, you can figure out famous persons from
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
please
No,
carry
no,
on. Sorry.
famous or not, you can figure out. You can know what people are doing. So, everybody has a job to do. Everybody is famous in their own light. But sometimes people do some jobs which are also touch the heart of the society. So, in that sense, I would think that Mr. Hakil actually does something which touch the hearts of the society. It is not to say anything extra or not to say anything less. I honestly believe that we can have development, but it must touch the life of the last human being. So we can only make effort to do it. We may not be successful, but we must try to go to the last mile. And honestly, I feel very emotional when I talk about this microfinance project. I think in that sense, they're all doing a great, great job. Shoaib introduced you, introduced the concept of the study. The study is very simple that you are lending microfinance. So, what are the effects of this on the people so that if there are good effects at the same time, then you would like to expand it. At the same time, there may be certain things that you want to improve because nothing is perfect, and everything was perfect, no progress will happen. So, you would also like to find out whatever the ways that we can improve so the product becomes better, not only from the point of view of the MFI, but also from the point of view of the people who are using it. And that's all. So these are the only two objectives of this study, to find the impact and suggest ways in which you can improve it. Now, so that is how we have done, and I think previous studies have also tried to do it. But as the ministry always say that statistical things always say that if you do something with 1,000 sample or 500, 800 people will say that the findings is okay, but not applicable to everybody. It's not a generalized statement. So I think that is why Sadhan introduced this project, and we had a big discussion with Mr. Brijmohan and even Gigi and several meetings in Sadhan, and they suggested that statistically it makes sense to have a sample of about 6,000 to 7,000. So we just chose the 6,000 because every time you increase the sample size, it costs the money. So we say, what is the minimum size under which you can support a good logic? So 6,000. So what we have done is that we have taken these 6,000 and then as per Government of India, we have divided the entire of India into 6 zones: east, north, south, west, central, and northeast. And then Sadhan has provided us the number of clients in every state, so that and you know exactly which states are which zone, so that you can find out the zonal subtotals. And based on the zone subtotals, we have allocated the sample size of 5,500, and 5,500 samples we have kept for the poorest of poor. So that is separate, but 5,500 we have allocated to across zones. And once it is across these two zones by proportional sampling, and then once it is across two zones, then we have taken the states in a zone, within a zone, and then we have ordered the zone in terms of the highest to lowest. And we didn't want to take only the highest because then it will be only covering the success and not some of the weaknesses. So we have taken the topmost state, the middlemost state, and the bottommost state in a particular zone. Now, once that is done, then within a particular state, we have taken districts. Again, all the districts we have ordered by their number of clients, and then we have taken three districts. We have taken three districts or two districts, depending on the rural population and urban population. Basically, a district is either a rural or an urban or a semi-urban. That is the one of the three types of districts that Sadhan also wanted to cover, and we also think that they are geographically different. So we have covered this urban, semi-urban, rural. So now once the district is fixed, right now, so now for example in Uttar Pradesh, based on all the sampling rule, the districts that have come up are Gorakhpur and Kushinagar. Now, Gorakhpur and Kushinagar, so we know exactly, exactly we know Gorakhpur and Kushinagar, and we of course have the total number of clients in Gorakhpur and total number of clients in Kushinagar across all MFIs. So then we have allocated the sample size of Uttar Pradesh into these two districts again based on proportional rules. Once that is done, now let us come to Gorakhpur, which is district now. So in a district, what we have done that we have ordered the MFIs that are operating in this district of Gorakhpur from sorted them and in terms of public, because Sadhana gave us the number of clients, and then put them into four quartiles: Q to Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, the topmost, middle quartiles. And then we have taken the top quartile one MFI. Then we have taken from the second quartile one MFI, third quartile one MFI, and the fourth quarter of one MFI, so that the survey does not get dominated in a particular district by only one MFI. Because if you does it, then it will be a survey of that MFI. It will not be a survey of the microfinance. It will be a survey of that MFI. So that therefore we have selected four MFIs. When the sample size becomes very small in the under proportion, then we have dropped that sample and added that back. So in that process, the Mitrata comes out as one of the MFIs in Gorakhpur, and the other two are Casper and IIFL something. So they are the first, and the second, and Mitrata is the third. Now we don't need huge amount of data. As I just saw in my Excel file, the number of clients as reported by Southern, as per the last report, which we have, it may have been updated a little bit, that really doesn't matter, was 4,436 clients. That is what is written, and the sample size is 36, because so we are going to survey 36, but what we need now to choose those 36, because those have to be chosen in some random ways. And what has to be done is that, so we need, and then when you survey the 36 people, we are not surveying completely randomly, because there is a issue that some clients are like first cycle, they are in the second cycle, some are on the third cycle, some on the fourth cycle, some are on the fifth cycle and the sixth cycle. And we have an apportioning rule that in the first cycle 10%, second cycle 20%, third cycle 30%. Like that is goes and goes up to the fourth cycle and then you can reduce it. So in the middle there is a lot of coverage and then after that is coverage. So for to draw these 36 people, what we need are only these following. We don't need any data right now. We just need a ID of the. Suppose you have 4,436 people. Suppose you have, and then you must be having an Excel file or something in which we just need the ID of the 4,436 people. So basically, column one, which is the ID, column two is the address because once we select the people, we have to go there. The address, the name, because we have to know the name, and in the fourth column, we just want to know the current cycle, not the past cycles or anything. The current cycle of this particular person. So we need only four columns of data. Don't need loan data, these data, repayment, rate of interest, nothing. We just know ID, name, address, and what cycle is this. If you give us this 4,436 for this, then we will check 36 people and then we will just go to those people and survey. At the time of survey, we might just ask you, ki, just tell me how to go and things like that. But we don't need data for any of the 36. Now, there are maybe some data like what is the loan detail. If you give it's fine, otherwise we will ask them. But honestly, we just need these identifiers to select the sample. That's all we need. We are not needing any data. Maybe once you have selected the 36, we can ask you for some loan amount and etc. But honestly, between you and me, if you can give it is fine. That will reduce my time to ask the survey people. That we, instead of asking that person how much loan, I can get it from your book. But if you are, I mean, if it is not confidential or something like that, then we'll ask the surveyor. I mean, the survey person. We don't need that data. That's all I need.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sarkar. Thank you, Saibul. Maybe I'll just share my initial thoughts on this. To begin with, let me give you the background that just in last 1 year, more than one study or surveys has been done in Mitrata footprint. This has been done for various reasons, both by national and international agency. The like for example, Sadhan through Finnish Mondial got the WASH study done, which was on WASH verification of the WASH loan portfolio performance. That was also in 23-24. Manvia and Orkio Credit has undertaken a big study in Mitrata footprint, where client surveys and client perception directly talking to the women in terms of the impact of microfinance and has been done. So one is that we have been subjected to too many studies within the same year. That is one. And our board and our team is getting a little concerned about it. Second is providing the data of 4,000 clients is impossible. We cannot do that for various reasons. Not only confidentiality norms, certain business propositions are there, providing the loan ID, providing the address, providing their geographical details, geotags, is something which is very confidential information in each MFI, and we don't pass that information to anyone, not even to our strategic partners. So I think expecting, and it's not Excel. We don't work on Excel. It's all LMS, LOS, which is through the softwares which we use, and high securities are maintained on data privacy. And those are code of conducts and a lot of regulation, and we have to go to the board and all that for providing any data information. Portfolio informations are available. What is the portfolio? How is the portfolio doing, which we provide to our lenders, to the bankers. So generic information can be given, but client-based information is impossible. Third, most important part is who are the enumerators or surveyors going to collect the information, because that is causing a very high risk. In the OKO study, we didn't allow them to hire any enumerator. We don't allow students to go. We don't allow local enumerators to go. I am myself from a research background, so I know how research are undertaken and how the data collections are done. So even in OKO study, I had to take a position of the entire study was done by the enumerators under our supervision and with our partner agency, who is a specialized agency in research. So the entire study was undertaken by the agency, which was recommended by us because we had trust, and I was one of the member. Once I was the member of that team. So what I have to say is that it's very sensitive to go into a village and ask some questions from women who are borrowing from more than one MFI, and each woman is borrowing at least from 3 to 4 MFIs in the same footprint, and collecting the information. And I think recently, even in Mumbai, the Sadhan event, most of us, including Mr. Sadaf Muthood and myself and others, said the whole perception of MFI is getting wrongly painted, and we have to be very careful in terms of how it is done. So I have no problems of getting the research or studies done. They are important for policies and for presenting the right perspective to policyholders. But the design of the studies, and particularly in microfinance space, because I have done research in the development space, my own PhD is on women empowerment. So those are different studies. The sociological studies, the anthropological studies are very different. But microfinance is a very different ecosystem, and here the client doesn't belong to you. The client is your customer. You have a very transactional relationship in some sense with them, where they are confining a lot of information to you. Also, out of 4,000 going to 36 clients, going to the home, it sounds easy, but it's very difficult, because we have center culture. We don't do home collections. We have center meetings. Women come in one place, So generally, all these studies are undertaken in center meetings. When they come, even when the lenders come and they do due diligence, they meet women in the center meetings, in the GLG center meetings, and then they spend a little time with these women. And women are always in a hurry. We have tried IVR, we have tried short questionnaires, we have tried different means, and women say that, we don't want to be, what you will do with it. They have a lot of fears, they have a lot of apprehension, and they don't have the patience to listen. What is the object? They don't know what is RBI. They don't know what Ministry of Finance is thinking for them, and how their response is going to, we are talking of deep rural pockets. I'm not talking of urban locations. So I think to just sum up my submission, first is that, providing 4,000 data for your sampling, purposeful sampling, I totally understand, from what school you are coming from, Dr. Sarkar, but that will not be possible for Mitrata, and I'm sure that will be the response from most MFIs. And I think Sadhan also need to clarify this to us, because they are our SRO. They give us code of conduct. So there are a lot of MFIN, and Sadhan has a lot of guidelines issued to MFIs. And nowadays, I think when we were doing ADB TA again through Sadhan, the only question which the consultant asked us and pushed us against the wall was on data privacy and data, security. So I think this is becoming a very sensitive issue as far as the data sharing and data is concerned. If you are just planning to undertake a qualitative study by way of focus group discussions and little, sociological study, and I'm talking of impact study again, that can be still facilitated through some center meetings and all. But going so scientific, from zeroing from 4,000 using the various variables, and then first cycle, second cycle, third cycle, ticket, and, and then from that taking 36 loans. That is first challenge. And second, who is going to go to the field to collect the data? Who are these enumerators? It's not you and me who are going, Dr. Sarkar. So if these are students from the institute, absolutely, we will not provide access. Students are not allowed to go and collect that information. They have to be very trained enumerators. They need to be sensitized about do's and don'ts and the protocols and what preamble they are going to do.
This meeting is getting ended. I think it's like a 40 minutes. It's like a 40 minutes time band or something.
No, sir,
No,
it will continue, sir. No issue.
how can we continue now?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, that thing came up and going. I understand. I fully understand. Because you also have you are one sense. Some is a repository. You are like a trustee to the customers, and therefore you have to protect their. Yeah, I fully understand. But tell me, I'm just asking a friend. I mean, suppose we wanted to do something we can always modify and do. I mean, you can combine a qualitative study with a quantitative study. But I am asking you one question. That means suppose I wanted to speak to some women, right? And one reason of giving the sampling frame is the statistical reason of choosing 36 people in a random way so that there is no some bias in the selection. But let us assume that let us assume that we want to speak to 36 women. Doesn't mean 36, but since you are this size, we will speak to 40 people. If you are very big, we are going to speak to more people, something like that. So in that case, suppose I need the sampling frame because only to select the 36. But suppose I say that is not the way to select. As you rightly said, that is not the way to select them. That means we have 436 people. I will not tell you exactly 436. You need to talk to some people, let us say. Right. So is there possibility then to arrange something in which we can I mean, meet some beneficiaries in that your area and talk to some group of people? I mean, how could that be
Yes, sir.
facilitated?
Yeah, Dr. Sarkar, that's a good point. See, when you will go to the MFI and when you will go to different centers, you will find clients of different cycles in any case. Because
Right.
in one JLG, there could be a client with second cycle, and in the same JLG, you may have a client of third cycle. It's never
Right.
that all clients are. So I think that your objective of getting the stratified sampling will be possible, but a little more time has, rather than cherry picking, it has to
No, no,
be, you know,
no, no. I was not. I was not. I understand your point. That instead of
and and as far
my
as your
way of
meeting,
my
yeah,
way
and
of
as far
doing
as your
this.
meeting is concerned, or whoever wants to meet them and administer a very short specific questionnaire, because even in center meeting, women come for a very short duration.
No,
They are in a
that is.
hurry, they are sitting like this,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
want to
that
complete
is
the
of course.
transaction and run away.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they have. I mean, they come for a short duration. They want the money and run out. They don't have time to do all this academic service.
Yeah, but let me tell you, we get lot of visitors when we borrow money from banks, when we borrow money from NBFC, they go to the field, they spend time with the JLG member, they do the due diligence, they do the verification, and they talk to women. So for that, that is possible. I think Saibal, you need to mute yourself. Saibal, please mute yourself. Saibal, you need to mute yourself. So it is very much possible that to go there and talk to women, that's possible. That is possible in center meeting. Center meetings happens early morning from 7, 8 o'clock till 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. They are not throughout the day. So that's a window only available. It will be a necessary visit because the field officer is going, they can go along with the field officer to that particular center and talk to the women. So finding the house, finding the women, all that drudgery and time can be saved. And then you can talk to various women, that
But
assisted work is.
tell me, Dr. Akhil, suppose we go from 7 to 10, and then we meet the women and speak whatever time, whatever we get to do it. But in that same meeting, people will be there for different cycles, or we can go to three different places with different loan cycles. That's all I'm asking.
See, possibly I'll check with the operations team, but in one center or two centers or three centers, you will find people with different cycles. I'm sure you will find people with different cycles.
So that you can help us get that if you go to the center, these are our freshers. If you go to this center, these are the, I mean, little bit older means, I mean, more mature people. And that you can help us. But in one center, you will not find a mix, no?
Now, in one center, you may have people with second cycle and third cycle in the same center. That's possible.
Okay, is it possible?
It's possible.
Yeah, by the time I talk to the first guy, first cycle person, the second cycle person would have, I mean, already ready to
No,
leave
no,
because
no. These women, when they have some visitor, they sit for some time. Not that they run away. When the women, when they know somebody from outside has come, somebody from the city has come, some visitor has come, they have that courtesy in the villages that they will sit for some time. In villages, still
okay,
they
okay.
have that courtesy. So that's possible. So
Yes,
yes,
that's
Saibal,
possible.
you.
That's
Yeah, that's
possible, and
possible.
also like they are very courteous and they will support you with all these things if you talk to them nicely. We always talk to them nicely, and I agree with this. I mean, with Akil that accessing this data, individual data, may be a problem, and then the second thing is your
Yeah, I mean,
going there at their home, which we don't do from institution also. That's why I wanted to have this joint interaction to understand both of the sides. That means both of you can understand where are our limitations, where we need, where we can give more access. This kind of thing. Yeah.
No, I think
Yeah.
this is actually, honestly, from what Dr. Sakil is saying, Akil is saying that it is actually a better one because probably when I mean, we just want to pick 36, right? But it doesn't mean 36 means 36. But we need to have a bigger group, bigger number of people. So that will automatically happen if we go to a bigger place. So this is a matter of already finding a better way to select the sample in some sense, so to speak that you tell me the what did you say that city center? What did you say that what did you say that name was?
These are called centers, center meeting, JLG centers
Center
meeting.
meetings. So use better is a center meeting where you can actually find because you see all I told you was the name ID because we know don't need the name, we don't need the ID. The only reason we ask them that to go to survey, I have to find his name and address. Otherwise, how the hell I will find them? However, if this is a center, then he's already there. Then I don't need his name now because the name is not important. I mean, who is answering is not the important. It's just a response. So the name, address, and is unimportant. ID also I don't need anything. We are not going to say anything about that person. The only thing which was important is to find out because the experience of people in the higher cycles may be a little bit different at the lower cycles. But as you are saying, in this center, you are going to find such people. So in that sense, the sampling frame that I was asking, this already has the centers that you are telling me already has that information. So I mean, then I think fine, except that they have to answer some question, and of course that question should not be 1 hour long. No, no, our questionnaires are never 1 hour long. It will just talking. You see, at the end of the day, it's a friendly one. It is not to do anything. You're just asking how do have you benefited and how you want to improve and what do you think are a little bit of pressures that are happening which you think can be improved. This is the only three things. I mean, there is nothing like it's not like a auditing or something that is going to happen. It's not an auditing. It's a the whole idea is to improve and assess and improve. That's all it is.
No, no, Dr. Sarkar, MFIs are very used to audits and due diligence
No,
visits.
no, we are not coming from
No,
audit
no,
part.
I know. I'm saying the MFIs and the clients and the staff are very used to it. But in this case, I know it's an impact study. I will also share if the agency, if it is in public domain, I'll share the study we undertook with OIQ and Manvia. It's a very interesting study on impact and whole ethnographics and the whole methodologies were co-designed by us because Mitrata that way has little advantage that some of us come from the development fraternity and from research background. So we bring our own thought
No,
processes,
of course, no, no. We would be actually banking on you because at the end of the day, you're also on the ground, but we also have this idea of being independent. So
Yeah.
independent does not preclude that I cannot talk to you. Independent, I must execute based on my own thought, but my thought
Yes.
can be shaped by your thought. I mean,
Excellent.
there is nothing like if I talk to you, my independence will go away. It is not like that. It's
No,
not
no.
like
I think till you are leading the study and your team is leading the study and they will have the very candid environment to talk to women. The study protocols will, we know what are the ethics of any research study and those ethics need to be
yes,
followed very
absolutely.
sincerely. So I think we can further have discussion on this. This was, I believe, this was an introductory meeting. But
Yes,
if we are
yes.
talking on those lines, and if it work out, yes, we have presence in Gorakhpur. We have branches in Gorakhpur in the rural
Sir,
areas.
where are you speaking from now? Gurgaon.
We are in Gurgaon, sir. We are in our corporate office is in Gurgaon.
So because we are planning to all come on 19th, I myself and Bharti, the professor. So, if we seek an appointment with you, we'll be able to meet you.
Yes, sir. Most welcome. Oh, it will be a pleasure to have you, sir. It will be a pleasure.
Oh, okay, sir.
So I think Sangeeta ji or Saibal will be coordinating this with us.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they will
no
coordinate
problem.
with us, and
Once the
then I
program
will.
is formed up, we can. You're most welcome to visit us, sir. Most welcome. It will be a
Okay,
pleasure. It
okay.
will be an honor.
Thank you. I mean,
Okay.
it's
Thank
very
you.
nice. It's a very cordial conversation. I mean, I'm really happy that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Saibal. Thank you, Sangeeta. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. बंद करें. आप हो मैं बंद कर